The Hernkin pioneers skim across alien worlds, scouting for enemy positions, riding on their Magna Coil bikes. Hello there, and welcome to this painting video. In this video, we're going to show you how to paint your Hernkin pioneers in the colors of the Trans-Hyperion Alliance. The first thing that we need to do is undercoat the model, and for this, we've used Chaos Black Spray. The first paints that we're going to need are Lead Belcher, Abaddon Black, Xandri Dust, Mournfang Brown, Jakiro Orange, and Troll Slayer Orange. So let's get some Lead Belcher onto the palette. So I'm just going to get a couple of dollops here of Lead Belcher and get a little bit of water just to thin it out. Yeah, that's good there. And then I want to start picking out all the details that I want to be Lead Belcher. If you get lost where these are, just remember to check the box art for help. With all the silver metallic details picked out, we're now going to use Abaddon Black to pick out all the details that we want to be black. Just remember, before applying the Abaddon Black, just to change your water pot, because you don't want to get any of those metallic flakes into the rest of your paints. With the black details now picked out, the next thing that we're going to do is to move on to doing some of the leather details, and for this we're going to be using Xandri Dust. With those first leather details picked out, we're now going to use Mournfang Brown to pick out the remaining leather details. So that's just going to be the coat here, and then some pouches around the model. With that stage complete, we're now going to use Jakiro Orange to pick out the Void Armor. Just take your time when doing this. And if you make any mistakes, just tidy back up with the previous layers. With the Jakiro Orange complete, we are now going to apply Troll Slayer Orange over it. This will help to give the really nice vibrant color that the Trans-Hyperion Alliance have. And there we go. What we need to do next is finish doing the rest of the base details. And for this, we're going to be using Mechanicus Standard Grey, Mephiston Red, Thousand Suns Blue, and Grey Seer. So let's get some Mechanicus Standard Grey onto the palette. I'm just going to get a couple of dollops here. That's 1, 2. Just get a little bit of water, just thin it out there, and get it brushed to a nice sharp point. Just like that. Just get the excess off. And then what I want to do is start picking out all the details that I want to be grey. So it's just her trousers over here, and it will be the mask on the face, as well as some of the carrier cases on the back of the bike. And with those details picked out, we now need to move on to using Mephiston Red to pick out all of the red details. So it's just going to be the tops of the ammo over here, as well as the lenses. With the red details picked out, we're now going to use Thousand Suns Blue to pick out all of the blue details. With the blue details picked out, we now need to use Grey Seer in order to put the base layer for the skin. Once finishing with the skin, don't forget to use Grey Seer to add a white stripe down the center of this armor panel. You're going to do it on this side, as well as this side here. With the Grey Seer applied, we now need to move on to doing the shades as well as the contrasts. And for this, we're going to be using Non-Oil, Agrax Earthshade, Magmadroth Flame, and finally Guilliman Flesh mixed in with Contrast Medium. So let's get some Non-Oil onto our paintbrush. So I'm just going to load up the paintbrush here with Non-Oil. And then what I'm looking to do is picking out all the silver metallics. So I'm going around picking out the silver metallics here. And once you've done with the silver metallics, you want to move on to doing all of the grey details. So that will be on the trousers as well as the backpacks on the miniature, as well as here the dark leather details, and finally the red details. With the Non-Oil applied, we're now going to use Agrax Earthshade and wash that over all of the light leather details. With that stage complete, we're now going to use Magma Droth Flame and just apply that into the recesses of the orange void armor. Just take your time when doing this, and if you make any mistakes, just tidy back up with Troll Slayer Orange. With that stage complete, we now need to move on to doing the skin details, and for this we're going to be using Guilliman Flesh and Contrast Medium. So let's get some Guilliman Flesh onto the palette. So I'm just going to get one dollop here of Guilliman Flesh, put that on the palette, clean out my brush, and then I'm going to get 3 dollops of Contrast Medium. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then just mix it in there. Just like that. Then I'm going to clean my brush off again because I just want to control how much I get on the bristles. So there we go. And then we're just going to layer that in over all the skin details. I'm going to do 3 layers of this. With the skin blocked in, the next thing that we need to do is to move on to doing the base. And for this, we're going to be using Mechanicus Standard Grey, Armageddon Dunes, and Agrax Earthshade. So let's get some Mechanicus Standard Grey onto the palette. 1, 2, a little bit of water just to thin it out. And then what we need to do here is just paint in the rock that is underneath the jet bike. With the rock painted, what we need to do next is get some Armageddon Dunes onto the base. And for this, we're going to be using our texture tool. So what we need to do is use the large flat end of the texture tool here and then scoop out what we need from the Armageddon Dunes like that. And then apply that onto the base. So we need to get some there, just get a little bit more. Once you've covered the base with Armageddon Dunes, remember to let it dry for around an hour for the texture to take effect. Now that the base is dried, we're going to use Agrax Earthshade and apply that all over it. With the Agrax Earthshade applied, the model is now complete. All that's left to do is to paint the rim of the base, and for this we've used Steel Legion Drab, but you can do it in whatever colour matches the rest of your army. With the base complete and the rim painted, your Hernkin Pioneer is ready to scout and kill the enemy in the name of her kin. So there are just a couple of things to remember. When using metallic paints, don't forget to change your water pot because you don't want to get any of those metallic flakes into the rest of your paints. Also, when using texture paints, just remember to let it stand for around an hour in order for that texture to take effect. Well, we hope you've enjoyed this painting video and we hope you enjoy painting your own Hernkin Pioneers to a battle-ready standard. And we look forward to seeing you again soon. Goodbye.